Police say much of the violence on May the 1st came from so-called black blocs, who often clash with law enforcement. They're a minority of about 1,200 people, according to police. Journalists were told officers had instructions to confront them head-on. Many Yellow Vests protesters say these police tactics are also partly to blame for the level of violence.
If you're the president of France and you see that there's public discontent, you don't respond to it by putting so many police in the street with water cannon and tanks. They should be listening instead of only pretending to listen.
Much of Paris was on lockdown, with 7,500 police deployed. Law enforcement said it was determined not to allow the widespread vandalism seen at previous Yellow Vest marches. That didn't put off large numbers of people from marching. Tens of thousands of Yellow Vest protesters have taken to the streets this May Day to say that President Macron's announcements last week are not enough. But the question is whether this is the last gasp of the protest movement or whether it can keep up momentum. President Macron announced tax cuts and higher pensions last week, aiming to calm the public anger that has sparked weekly marches since November. Few people here were convinced.
I listened to him carefully, and he has some interesting ideas, but I find his discourse very elitist, even though he said he would scrap elite schools. There were really no big changes.
He needs to make a gesture towards people. He always says he regrets things, but we don't feel any compassion. He doesn't understand how people live.
The Yellow Vests have tumbled in public opinion in recent months, according to some polls, while Macron is recovering. But for some here who loathe what they see as the president's arrogance, the protests against him will go on. Elena Casas, TRT World, Paris.